Every day, hundreds of people launch their first Airbnb with dreams of passive income and financial freedom. And every day, hundreds of others quietly shut down their listing, exhausted, financially drained, and just wondering where it all went wrong. So what separates those hosts who thrive from those who barely survive? It's not luck, it's not location, it's not even having a banging property. It's knowing how to deal with the pitfalls that are part and parcel of Airbnb hosting. And look, the truth is, hosting looks easy from the outside. List your property, welcome guests, collect money. But ask any established host and they'll tell you that beneath this straightforward concept lurk dangers that can turn your dream into a never-ending nightmare. And these aren't minor inconveniences either. These are the business ending, relationship testing, sanity questioning realities that no one talks about in those how I made £1 million on Airbnb videos. But here's the good news. Every single one of those problems are completely avoidable. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on the top reasons why people regret starting an Airbnb. And more importantly, for each potential disaster, I'm going to show you strategies to sidestep the problems entirely. So you'll finish this video not discouraged, but empowered.
The power of empowerment is powering your brain to be powerful.
These next, I'm going to guess 10 minutes could save you thousands of dollar bucks, countless headaches, and years of trial and error. And if you're wanting to start your Airbnb business the right way from day one, then click the link below and get my Airbnb success blueprint. All right, regret number one. This is Sarah. Now, what began of her dream of effortless income quickly turned into a 24/7 job. That 2 a.m. phone call about Wi-Fi going down is just one of the countless interruptions that disrupted her evenings, weekends, and date nights. Because the painful reality is, Sarah fell victim to the midnight magnifying glass. Small issues that you'd casually deal with on your own in your own home suddenly become magnified emergencies when a guest experiences them. A flickering bulb in your own house, yeah, you'll change it when you get round to it, but a flickering bulb for a guest,
Hair on my skin is standing up and there's a chill up my spine.
suddenly it's a midnight emergency. Hosts like Sarah frequently find themselves frantically answering messages at midnight, rushing between guest turnovers and just troubleshooting minor issues all the time. And before long they realise they've created the stressful second job instead of the relaxing income stream that they envisaged. Sarah learned this the hard way, but you don't have to. So, for your success strategy, implement reliable systems from day one. Invest upfront in digital smart locks, automated messaging, and digital guidebooks that's going to just streamline your guest interaction. I've actually got a time-saving automation guide in that blueprint below. Make sure you partner with a reliable cleaning team who can be your eyes and ears. And if you don't have the time to run this business the right way, look at partnering with a co-host or a property management company that's going to share the workload. Because trust me, your freedom and peace of mind are worth the initial investment in setting these systems up. Regret number two. Now let's talk about something that every host dreams of, and that's that cash money flying into your bank account. Take Michael, for example. After just 6 months of hosting, he celebrated over $22,000 bucks coming in revenue. But that celebration very quickly turned to shock the minute he sat down to work out his actual profit. You see, Michael experienced what I'm calling the revenue waterfall. Imagine your gross booking revenue as a massive, powerful rushing river. But as that river flows downstream, it gets diverted into numerous smaller tributaries. Remember geography? Mortgage payments, utilities, platform fees, cleaning costs, maintenance, and then taxes, remember that?
Not like this.
So by the time it reaches your bank account, that once mighty river can shrink down to just a trickle, or worse, dry up completely. In Michael's case, after subtracting all of those costs, the harsh reality set in. His impressive 22k in revenue left him almost nothing in actual profit. And in fact, in slower months, he was actually operating at a loss. Suddenly, hosting didn't seem as glamorous as he initially thought. But here's the good news. You don't have to make Michael's mistake. And the key here is preparation. Before you even list your property, create a detailed financial model of what you can expect. Now, it doesn't have to be complicated, just clearly outline every expense that you're going to face.
So mortgage, cleaning, utilities, maintenance, platform fees, your tax.
And don't forget to set aside like a wee maintenance fund just for damages that may occur. Then use tools like Airbnb to actually assess how much money are you actually going to make. Get realistic occupancy and nightly rates for your area. So this is going to help you set accurate revenue expectations. And then lastly, identify amenities that you can put in your property that guests value highly. This means you're going to be able to charge the highest nightly rates and without significantly increasing your running costs. And there's a pricing strategy that can help you with that in the link below. So by clearly mapping out your financial reality up front, you can ensure that your hosting journey stays profitable and your revenue waterfall keeps flowing steadily into your pocket instead of away from it. Regret 3. This is Emma. Her beachfront home was a cash machine all summer. pulling in $12,000 every month. Ka-ching. But as soon as November hit, her bookings disappeared overnight, leaving her calendar completely empty. But the painful part is, her mortgage, her utility bills, her property management costs, they did not disappear like the guests did. And this is the harsh reality that many hosts face. Peak season success followed by off-season stress. And suddenly your thriving rental business becomes a financial burden and you're forced to scramble to cover expenses while the property just sits empty. But it doesn't have to be this way. So let's look at it differently. Imagine your Airbnb as a little squirrel gathering nuts during the summer. When there's loads of food around, squirrels don't just eat it all and forget about it. They store extra away to survive the lean winter months. And smart hosts do exactly the same. When bookings are booming, they build a financial buffer that's going to enable them to ride out the winter. And here's how you can put this into practice yourself. So first, during those busy months, actively set aside a portion of that income that's going to tide you over during the winter months. And next, don't just wait passively for bookings to just fall in. You're a go-getter. Go get them.
Get him, Tiger.
Actively target different types of guests throughout the year. For example, weekdays can attract business travelers who want quiet places compared to hotels. And in slow periods, you can boost your bookings by offering like special packages or reduced nightly rates. And finally, think about adjusting that minimum stay during different seasons. So shorter stays might attract more guests in that slow season. But in the high demand periods, keep that minimum stay high to make sure those bookings stay very profitable. So by planning strategically, you can make sure that your property, whilst it will suffer some dips, will still remain profitable all year round. Regret number 4. Even the most careful hosts can still get blindsided. Take James, for example. Yeah, James was like kinda careful about the people he let in, and yet one day, surprise, surprise, a booking slipped through the cracks.
I'm sorry to hear that, but not surprised.
A seemingly trustworthy group of 18-year-olds threw an unauthorized party at his place, leaving behind a staggering scene of devastation. Now, James thought Airbnb's host protection scheme had him covered until he discovered the painful reality. There's plenty of things that Airbnb don't give a shit about and just leave you, the host, to clean up yourself. Imagine expecting Airbnb to come in and save the day, only to realize that you're on your own. Repairs like stained furniture, deep cleaning carpets, and replacing damaged appliances.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
James learned the hard way that Airbnb cares about themselves first, their guests second, and us last. And the truth is, horror stories like James's are not rare. Parties, bad guests, review blackmail, this can spiral quickly out of control, hurting not only your wallet, but your reviews and your ability to run your own business. But here's the good news, you can and should take proactive steps to protect you and your property. First, for the love of God, tighten up your guest screening procedures. I've got a foolproof vetting procedure in the link below, please use it. Next, clearly outline your house rules and what you expect from guests before any booking is confirmed. And again, there's a template for that in the blueprint as well. And if you want to go even further, you could consider installing noise monitoring devices and clearly marked security cameras only outside. And this is going to let you keep on top of who's coming and going to your property, how noisy are they being, and it's just going to let you step in before things get too crazy. But by staying proactive and clearly communicating your expectations, you'll significantly reduce the risk of nightmare situations like James had. Regret number 5. This is Alicia, and unfortunately, her story is not unique. It's a painful reality many short-term rental hosts are experiencing right now. Imagine pouring thousands into a renovation, carefully crafting your property into the perfect short-term rental, only to receive a letter out of nowhere giving you 30 days to shut it all down. Alicia invested $40,000 bucks of her own money into turning her apartment into an Airbnb banger. But overnight, a sudden change in her city's opinion on short-term rentals forced her to completely rethink her strategy. Think of it like building a beautiful sandcastle next to the sea. You spend hours perfecting every detail, only to watch helplessly as an unexpected wave washes it away in seconds. Without checking local regulations and staying up to date with this stuff, your investment could vanish just as quickly. Now, unfortunately, Alicia learned this the hard way, and many hosts have seen their dreams and their financial security collapse overnight due to sudden bans or compliance issues that they never saw coming. But here's the good news. You don't have to repeat Alicia's mistake. There is a clear path to protecting your investment. First, thoroughly research local short-term regulations before you buy or start to renovate anywhere. Connect with local Airbnb host groups because they're your eyes and ears, your early warning system for all of this. Build positive relationships with your neighbors and communicate openly and be proactive with any concerns that they have. And finally, always have a backup plan ready. Whether that's midterm rentals, normal leasing, or any sort of other pivot, you need to make sure that you're not going to be left scrambling. So by staying informed, connected, and prepared, you can ensure that your short-term rental investment remains stable no matter what comes at you. Regret 6. This is Jeffrey. When he started hosting way back in 2019, his up-and-coming area only had 5 Airbnbs, and with an occupancy rate of 95%, paying his mortgage was easy, and life was good. But fast forward just a few short years, and the landscape has completely changed. Suddenly, there's 43 listings competing with him within a 5-block radius, and Jeffrey watched helplessly as his occupancy and his nightly rates nosedived. Think about it like opening a trendy coffee shop in a quiet street corner. At first, you're the go-to spot and the lines out the door, but soon, the word gets out, and then there's 3, then there's 4, then there's 5 coffee shops, all operating right next door. They're doing similar lattes, flat whites, and pastries. All of a sudden, your line's shrinking, your prices are falling, and you're wondering, what do you do next? And this painful reality hits Airbnb hosts hard. As more properties flood popular markets, occupancy rates drop, and price wars ensue. And this can push many hosts out of business altogether. But here's the good news: you do not have to be another casualty of oversaturation. The key is differentiation. That's aggressively setting yourself and your property apart in a way that your competitors can't easily copy. So how do you do this? Well, firstly, make your place stand out in terms of like cool design, cool amenities that literally compel guests to book your place over the competition. Focus on delivering exceptional guest experiences that translate into stellar reviews. And these reviews can become your competitive advantage. Target niches like business travelers who like workspaces, families who value kid-friendly amenities, or pet owners who want to bring their pets. But the bottom line is, don't get caught up in a price war that you cannot win. It is always a race to the bottom. Instead, create value that guests just cannot resist. That's how you'll keep your occupancy high, even when competition heats up. Regret 7. This is Daisy. Just 10 months ago, she proudly opened the doors of her first short-term rental to guests. But today, walking through the property, she can hardly believe her eyes. Her new sofa now sags sadly in the middle. The freshly painted walls look tired and worn. 3 appliances have already broken down. In a traditional rental, these items would have lasted years. So what's going on? Now here's the painful reality. Short-term rentals experience wear and tear at a rate far in advance of homes or even long-term rentals. Furniture, finishes, and appliances deteriorate rapidly due to the amount of use. And hosts like Daisy often learn this expensive lesson the hard way. But you don't have to be caught off guard. So here's the success strategy. Whatever wear and tear you'd expect in your own home, multiply it by 10 for your short-term rental. Plan ahead from day one, not after you've already paid the price. So invest smartly, choose hardware and furniture and appliances that are designed for heavy use. Track everything, so create a spreadsheet that's going to monitor the condition and lifespan of all the furnishings and appliances. Build relationships early, reliable like contractors that can come in at a moment's notice to help you before things get so bad they become an emergency. And just budget realistically. Factor regular refreshes and ongoing maintenance costs into your pricing strategy so that you've got the money to actually cover it. By preparing proactively, you'll protect your investment, delight your guests, and avoid the costly surprises that caught Daisy up. Regret 8. Meet Tom. It was supposed to be his anniversary dinner. A special night he'd planned months in advance in a restaurant that's almost impossible to get into. But instead of enjoying a romantic evening, Tom found himself glued to his phone, fielding urgent messages from 3 different guests who all had emergencies that needed responded to now. Tom faced an awful choice: prioritise his business or his relationship. He chose the business, and to this day, his partner still hasn't forgiven him. This is the painful reality for many short-term rental hosts. Constantly being on call, always responding to urgent issues, it leads to chronic stress, strained relationships, and burnout. And eventually you'll be questioning, is the extra income even worth it? But it doesn't have to be this way. Here's the success strategy. Set firm boundaries from day one. Establish clear office hours for non-emergency communication. Leverage automation that's going to handle the heavy lifting of so much of this communication. That's going to free up your time and, more importantly, your mental space. It's really important that you build a reliable support network, trusted cleaners, maintenance professionals, and possibly even a co-host or a helper that can step in when you need some downtime or some date nights. And by proactively creating these systems and boundaries, you'll protect your personal life, reduce stress, and ensure your hosting business remains sustainable and enjoyable in the long run. Regret
9.
Now, you might think being a star host with stellar reviews guarantees you success. Well, let's meet Jack. Jack spent 2 years building a stellar reputation on Airbnb. Continuous 5 stars, the coveted Airbnb superhost. Life was good. Until one morning, Jack woke up to discover the unthinkable. His listing had plummeted from page 1 to page 7. No warnings, no explanations, just a silent algorithm change that dried up his bookings instantly. Now imagine you're Jack. You've spent countless hours perfecting your listing, generating all those reviews, and keeping your property immaculate. And then through no fault of your own, everything you've built up vanishes completely overnight, all because Airbnb changed one line of code. This isn't hypothetical, this is the painful reality that many hosts face. Algorithm changes, unexpected hikes in fees, or even policy shifts can decimate your visibility and your revenue overnight. But the good news is you don't have to leave your success in the hands of one platform. First, massively increase your visibility by listing your property on multiple different booking sites. You cannot rely solely on just one, especially if it's Airbnb. Second, build your own direct booking website. This puts you in the driver's seat. Get control back and get those bookings that are yours. And third, try everything you can to get those guests contact details, especially an email address, and nurture those guests through email. Because by staying connected, you can build loyalty and get repeat direct bookings. And lastly, you can also consider accepting longer stays. Not only do they come with like lower platform fees, but they're also gonna not leave you so exposed to short-term changes in the algorithm. By taking these proactive steps, you can transform your listing from vulnerable and reactive to resilient and sustainable. So no single algorithm change can ever bring you down. So now that you know what potholes to avoid, click this video next to watch 20 of the tips that expert hosts use to build a killer Airbnb business. See you in the next one.